The Yorkshire Three Peaks is a notoriously gruelling hike encompassing the peaks of Pen y Ghent, Whernside and Ingleborough. This year we wanted to reinforce why we're engaged in this struggle. 11 of us took part in the hike, and each of us selected one of the many victims of multiculturalism. We decided we would carry them over the 24 miles and up the 5,200 feet of ascent. We would speak their names to those who would listen, and we would tell their stories and highlight the hypocrisy of a system that pretends to care while sacrificing white lives on the altar of diversity every single day.
Currently halfway up Pen y Ghent, or probably starting up Pen y Ghent at the moment. But we're doing our White Lives Matter Day, or International Day of Pro-White Action event, which we are covering, if I can catch that. Everyone has a shirt with a victim of anti-white violence on it, and we are carrying them across the length of the Yorkshire Three Peaks, which is 24 miles, 3 peaks as the name would suggest. And it's going to be pretty grueling. It should be about 12 hours in total. Yeah, you can see Pen y Ghent, that's our first peak in the clouds behind me. Hopefully it's cleared up by the time we get there. We've got Banner with us as well, so we'll be banner dropping all 3 peaks. So we're at the peak of Pen y Ghent. It's been a grueling climb, but it's the first of 3. Over the extent of the 3 peaks, there's we do more ascent than Ben Nevis in total over the day. But yeah, currently we're on track for 12 hours, which is a good pace. That's what we want it to be. Hey Mark.
Alright, big guy, how you doing? Why am I not in the shot?
There we go.
How you doing? God, what a day it's been.
This fucking phone.
What a day it's been. We've already conquered the first peak. We're waiting for some of the stragglers. Breakfast of Pringles and Red Bull. Fired up.
Don't know how you're running.
I've been up since 3 AM to get here, so I needed to have something in the car, and that was the most high energy thing I could think of. So all the worst stuff in me.
I've got Aaron Dugmore. Aaron Dugmore was a 9-year-old who went to a primary school in Birmingham. Birmingham at the moment has a under 50% white population. The school itself had a 75% Asian population, and he was bullied as being one of the few white kids there, to the point where he took his own life. He's the 2nd youngest person to commit suicide in the UK. At school he was threatened by some of the Asian students with knives, and I believe he was told, obviously we don't have it from him, we have it from his mum, but his mum has frequently tried to address the bullying issue with teachers, but the school itself was in pretty poor shape. From Ofsted, the kind of governing body that grades schools, they were given a substandard score. But basically, whenever I think of Aaron, I think of that picture. I'm sure many of you will have seen it. The ginger boy looking at the camera, surrounded by a class full of Asians and blacks. It was London, and I just think, with all the demonisation of white people going on, our history, as the populations get smaller and the schools become minority white, we can expect to see more of this, and it just needs putting a stop to. The next generation is going to be coming up in, I think, 2030. I think by 2030 we've got minority white schools, and the next generation is majority non-white. So we haven't got long to turn it around if we're going to turn it around. The approach to Ribble's Head Viaduct now, probably another 45 minutes to an hour away, I think, but it's mainly flat. You're just kind of walking along the bottom of these little valleys. It's been going well so far. A few people complaining about foot pain. That's to be expected. You might have seen in the camp video, we had a young lad doing it barefoot, the camp hike. He is today doing 24 miles barefoot across, well, I can't turn the camera around, so I'll just show you that kind of material. Really impressive. As you can see, the group's getting a bit far ahead of me, so I'm going to stop this and catch up. So I'll see you in a little bit, probably at Ribble's Head Viaduct. Going to get the drone out for that shot as well, so enjoy that coming up. About halfway up Whernside now, probably wind's blowing the microphone out. We're just catching a breather for a minute, just let the team kind of group up again, and we'll be onwards towards the peak. But it's this one's a long, it's not as steep as the first one, but it's just a longer grind. But everyone's keeping spirits up and everything, so hopefully see you at the top. Got to the bottom of Whernside, just forced a cereal bar down me even though I'm not hungry. I was bloody knackered. That was a really tough descent on the knees. Everyone's felt that. We've lost two. They'll be coming down here and tapping out. One of them's had knee surgery and everything, so entirely understandable. I think he was one of the oldest among us as well. Ahead of us we've got, you can see it just behind my shoulder here, Ingleborough, sorry. That one's got a really rough ascent, really steep. I mean, thinking of Aaron and who I'm carrying around with me today, and I'm sure the others are the same. It's getting too windy as well. I was hoping to do a drone shot on the final peak, but it's quite windy and rainy now, so it might not be feasible. But yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Wish us luck. Mark's set off ahead because I think he knows he's going to get slowed down a bit. I think he's broken his toe, possibly. Either way, the nail on his toes come off, so he's going to be grinding it out, and we'll complete it by sheer force of will, no doubt.
We did this as a reminder of what's at stake. Mothers, fathers, sons and daughters are all expendable under the boot of an anti-white system. There is no one coming to save us, and if we do not advocate for ourselves, then we will be wiped out. Those who've already been lost will never be forgotten. We will carry your names and your suffering with us, and there will be no rest until we can secure a safe and prosperous future for our people.
Donna was 53 years old when she died. She was a therapist from Wigan. She was run down by an asylum seeker from Libya. He failed to stop at the scene. He had no driving licence, no insurance, wasn't even allowed to be in the country, and again he was working as a delivery driver.
Yeah, so Keane went out with his friends on a night out in Bradford, got into an argument. Sometimes this happens, and unfortunately a group of Asian men took offence to him, came back with more friends, I think 6 total, started to stab his friend, who luckily survived, but unfortunately Keane did not. He received machete wounds and large knife wounds, later died in front of his friends and many onlookers as well. This was clearly an attack against white people, and a white person himself who died.
Well, Chris Donald was subjected to the most despicable torture imaginable. When he was 15 years of age in Glasgow, he was taken off the streets by a gang of Asian criminals and beaten senseless and subjected to the worst kind of torture you can imagine, which I don't want to even go into because it was too horrific. And his case wasn't touched upon by the mainstream media, specifically the BBC, when they had ample time and ample criticism, yet they continued to ignore and bury this particular horrifying story.
She was groomed for 2 years and then impregnated by a Muslim, and it only gets even worse. The Muslim locked her and her family in her house and then set fire to her home, and they all burned to death.
Yeah, it's an absolutely horrendous story, isn't it? And it's, I mean, she was what, I think like 13 at the time or something? 14. 14, yeah.
So I chose him because his case was not really covered by the media at the time, and he was murdered in pretty horrific circumstances after coming back from a game of football, and he shouldn't have had to worry about being murdered by 2 Bangladeshis on the way back from a game of football with his friends. He had done absolutely nothing wrong. He had zero connection with the killers. They just chose him because he was a random white lad on the way back from football.
What's special about Russ was that it wasn't long after the September 11th attacks, about 10 days later, and the guys that killed him specifically went out to kill someone that was white.
Right.
They got tooled up with knives and hammers, and they found Ross. And they set about him, stabbing him, hitting him with the hammer. And when they left, he was still alive, but he bled out, before anybody could get to him. His mother even commented on that the media didn't really cover him compared to some of the ethnic victims that usually die when being arrested or something like that. You know, they're doing something. All Ross did was be white.
I think Victoria was, she was 15 years old at the time. She was living in a care home run by Manchester City Council, and she was injected with heroin, overdosed and died. She was injected by an Asian man, and 18 months beforehand she'd raised to the police that she was being groomed, raped, plied with drugs, and nothing was done about it.
And obviously now we know that Manchester Police is pretty heavily infested with people who are on board with the grooming gangs in various ways. Is there anything particular about Victoria that made you choose her above any of the others?
I think the whole grooming gangs thing in general is such an enormous cover-up of an enormous issue that we have in this country. You know, there's hundreds of thousands, likely girls like Victoria who've been abused, raped in the same way, and it's been covered up by authorities who are too scared to be called racist. And I think Victoria is just probably one of the worst examples of it. It's such a brutal end, and yeah, so it's not just her but all the other victims that I feel that this represents.